What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We're going to be talking about a huge target that's coming for Bitcoin here. It's going to be about 104,000. I'm going to be showing you guys the charts and the proof of why that is. Now, if you guys do want to make money in crypto, especially in this bull run, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment with any questions for this channel, because what I do here is find the moves before they actually happen, because let's face it, that's a lot less riskier than chasing a green pumping candle. If you guys ever chased a green pumping candle, let me know how that worked out, right? I mean, I've been there. It did not work out really well, but right now, finding the moves before they happen, that's a lot better, okay? Now, if you guys do have any technical analysis requests for any markets, any coins, make sure to drop a comment down in the section below. I will pick one and do one technical analysis request from you guys on every video. Last time, someone requested Ondo USD. I did not finish that last video, but I will finish it towards the end of this video, so make sure to stay around for that. Now let's dive right into the charts here and see what we're looking at today. We're seeing quite a bit of pumps all around. We have stock market pumping. We have Bitcoin pumping. Of course, the altcoins, because the altcoins, they follow Bitcoin. Okay, so how to actually look at this chart here is, let's come over here to the 3-day time frame. Okay, we actually have a breakout here. We've been talking about this pattern for about 2 weeks or more. Okay, talked about this double bottom pattern. I think right here, right, you have one bottom, second bottom. That is a very well known bullish reversal pattern. It usually breaks to the upside. Price target, which is basically you take the difference between the neckline, which is about 89,000, down to the bottom of the pattern, which is about 74,000, and then you put that difference back on top of the neckline. You get the price target. Price targets are estimates only. You can get more or less, okay? But it's still very important to get a good idea of where price action could be going, right? Now, if you actually look at this chart, it's not hard to see where you can actually make money from this chart, right? If you actually recognize the bottom where it was, you guys are in some pretty good profits, right? At least percentage wise, okay? Now, Bitcoin drives the altcoin markets. Now, Bitcoin has only gone up, maybe from 74,000 up to about right now 91,000. But some of the altcoins have gone absolutely insane. If you guys have a Coinbase account and you guys have looked at other smaller altcoins in Coinbase, you guys have seen that, right? Last couple of days, they have gone 100, 200%. Those are going to be, very volatile, right? They're going to go up pretty crazy, but they can also go down pretty crazy, right? So you just got to acknowledge the risk, right? Now let's take a look into some resistance between the price action right now and the price target. We do have the 3-day 50 SMA, the gray line here. These moving averages could be serving as resistance and support. This is just technical analysis, okay? If you guys are beginners or are interested in learning technical analysis, because you guys should, that is what it takes to actually, trade in the long run. I've been trading for 5 years. I'm still profitable, okay? And, if you guys really want to actually stay in the market in the long run, you have to learn technical analysis. That's, there's no other way around it, in my opinion, okay? So, if you guys watch this channel long enough, hear about it enough, think about it enough, see enough of this, you guys will get at least some ideas on how to trade profitably. Now, we do have the 3-day 50 SMA at about 93,000. We do have the weekly 21 SMA, which is about right above us right now, about 90, almost 93,000 as well. So we can probably expect that to be resistance. We are above the daily 200 SMA. Let's see how this closes, right? But it's looking very solid right now. We have about 8 more hours until this candle closes, but looks very solid to me right now. Okay, we don't have any weakness in the RSI. Another simple but very powerful indicator, right? Let's take a look into smaller time frame, right? 12-hour time frame, we are right at the resistance of the 12-hour 200 SMA. Okay, so this is what I mean. When the price action runs into resistance, I would expect, profit taking, right? And or a pullback. Right now we are seeing some of that pullback right now. I don't see weakness on the RSI for the 12-hour as well, so it's still looking good. 6 hours still looking good. It actually invalidated this bearish divergence here, if you guys know what I mean. Okay, and that is just crazy, because if you see bearish indicators getting invalidated or the other way around, then that means it's going very strong. In this direction. Okay, 4-hour time frame. Same thing, you see that bearish divergence just got completely invalidated. That is very powerful. Going up right now. So now we are seeing a pullback here, 3-hour. Let's just skip to the 1-hour, right? We do have a little bit of a pullback, but I mean overall, I think things are looking very good for Bitcoin right now. Of course, keeping an eye out on that daily candle close. It could retest the daily 200 SMA, but who knows? Bitcoin does some pretty crazy things, right? So let's go ahead and come to Ethereum. Very important to talk about Ethereum right now because it's been just beaten down so badly. I have some Ethereum, right? And it's not pretty to watch, right? But one thing I've been pointing out for the past couple of days is that it has actually broken out of this downtrend that has been forming since the end of January, okay? A falling wedge pattern. It has been creeping out, right? Price target out of this pattern is about 2,900. Huge price target, right? That is just textbook technical analysis. You guys can actually look up how to, like I said, how to measure price targets, right? So that's what I'm seeing for Ethereum. Let's take a look at total 3, which is total altcoin market cap excluding Ethereum. Very similar charts here, falling wedge pattern that has been forming since back in end of January, and it has creeped out in the last couple of days. Measure target for total 3 altcoin market cap is going to be over $1 trillion, which is, in terms of percentage wise, it doesn't look like it's a lot, but for the smaller altcoins, it could pump them like crazy, okay? Going back to the point of Coinbase past couple of days, I'm sure it could still continue to happen, right? But let me reiterate, right? Bitcoin is still the most important chart. If Bitcoin starts dumping, which does not look likely right now, right? Then none of this matters. Let's come to the stock market. S&P 500 is still very important because it was dumping yesterday. However, Bitcoin was still, it was decoupling from the stock market yesterday. I talked about a double bottom that looks like it's broken on the daily time frame now because we had a small double bottom right here, and that looked really good, but it did get broken. That doesn't usually happen, but it's still, the probability is still there. And what I'm seeing right now is that it's actually formed a falling wedge pattern, which is still bullish, right? It's still held the support at about 5,100, right? It's still closed on top of it, right? That is still a bullish retest. So keep an eye out on this pattern because it's highly correlated with Bitcoin. It could decouple sometimes, but whenever I do see potential downside from S&P 500, ES1 exclamation mark, which is the futures, right? I will still be cautious, but right now it's still looking very good for S&P 500 mini futures. 12-hour time frame. I mentioned this time frame here, right? It still looks great because first of all, let me just dissect this real quick, right? You had a double bottom here, right? Since that huge dump back, back in about last week, right? Or no. This was beginning of April, down to about 4,800. However, it did get that huge pump, and we have not retraced that huge pump, right? We have actually ended up on top of the support here of this double bottom. So, still looks very good to me right now for the stock market, and it's in a bullish pattern. So, right now, I don't see um, any upcoming dumps, at least probability wise, for S&P 500. So I would say that, when you put one and one together, Bitcoin is still looking good and the crypto markets are looking good right now. Let's come over here to Ondo. I did not finish the technical analysis for one of my subscribers yesterday, but he requested Ondo, and I think I was down to about the weekly time frame, right? I was saying that it still looks good on the weekly time frame. It just got quite a bit of resistance to retest, including the weekly 50 SMA, the weekly 21 SMA, but it's still running within this cup and handle pattern. I do have the price target to be about $1.30. Let's come over here to the daily time frame where it's just getting back on top of some of these moving averages, right? Including the daily 21 SMA, daily 50 SMA, the white line. Okay, so I do see quite a bit of altcoins going back to retest their daily 200 SMA, which is the orange line here, which is basically in the way of the price target, right? But it's an altcoin, so it could definitely get more volatility than Bitcoin here, right? But I think overall it still looks good because the time frame I'll be focusing on for a lot of these altcoins is the monthly time frame. And the reason why is because if you guys actually go back to 2021 charts, right? I was here in 2021, and what the monthly RSI did was basically it went up to huge oversold territory for most of these altcoins before it comes all the way back down, right? Some exceptions like what Dogecoin, it stayed up there for quite a few months, but a lot of the altcoins, stayed up there for maybe 1 month before coming back down. So this is what I'm paying attention to on the monthly time frame. If it goes, way overbought, then I'll be cautious. But right now, it's giving me a reading of 59, which is, in my opinion, very safe. It's a very safe bet, right? Still looking like it, of course. Of course, it still follows Bitcoin, right? If Bitcoin dumps, then I don't expect anything to really be pumping. Okay, I mean it could have a short term pump, but in the longer run, it's gonna come back down. So you gotta see Bitcoin for a more sustainable uptrend. Now that's just basically how I'm seeing Ondo right now. I hope that helps you. Now this basically wraps up my analysis for today. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment if you guys want to learn more about technical analysis and how to make money in this crypto markets. I'll see you guys next time and have a beautiful day.